All right, let's dive right in. For thousands of years, humans have had this recurring idea. In religion, we tell stories about a divine word that literally spoke the universe into existence. Then you've got philosophers talking about a cosmic logos, some kind of deep rational order to everything. And now, today, cutting-edge scientists are describing reality as a program or a code. So you have to ask, are these just separate ideas from different fields, or could they all be pointing to the same thing, like a single golden thread weaving through all of human history and thought?
Yeah, that is the big question we're going to get into. What if all these different fields, religion, philosophy, even physics, are all in their own way trying to read the same message? A message that hints at something incredible, that reality itself might be built on a foundation of meaning, of logic, of pure information. Okay, so where do we even begin with a question that huge? Well, let's start with something we can all relate to, the most basic piece of this whole puzzle, the power of a name. And I'm not just talking about sticking labels on things. This was a complete game changer. For us, for humanity, it was pretty much the spark that lit the fire of consciousness. And this idea is incredibly ancient. I mean, think about it. In the Quran, it says the very first thing God taught Adam was the names of everything. And you see a similar idea in Genesis, right? Adam is the one who names all the animals. In both of these ancient traditions, this simple act does something profound. It gives humanity this unique job. We're not just in creation, we're meant to understand it, to classify it, to make sense of it. This is the massive cognitive leap that sets us apart. Naming lets us hit pause on raw experience, We can take a step back, attach a symbol to something, and then, and this is the magic part, we can share that idea with someone else. It's literally how we get from seeing an apple fall from a tree to developing the abstract concept of gravity. Language basically becomes the operating system for our reality, running everything from our science to our art. Okay, so if the human word is that powerful, just imagine what a divine word could do. And that's exactly where this idea goes next. We're moving from the human act of naming to this bigger, more cosmic concept, a universal word or logos that's seen as the actual creative force that built and ordered the entire universe. And probably the most famous example of this comes right at the beginning of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word. It introduces this Christian concept of the logos, the word. But we have to be clear, we're not just talking about a spoken sound here. No way. This is a dynamic, divine principle. It's like the blueprint and the engine of all creation all rolled into one.
And you see this idea pop up in different, really fascinating ways. In Islam, for instance, the creative act is this incredibly powerful command, kun fayakun. Be, and it is. Just like that. An instant speech act. And boom, reality. In Christianity, the logos is a bit different. It's an eternal person who connects the divine with the material world. But look at the core idea here. Both are pointing to something mind-blowing. That reality itself was born from a divine utterance, a kind of cosmic speech.
So, let's zoom in on this word, logos, because it is absolutely key to all of this. It's a Greek term and it is packed with meaning. It doesn't just mean word in the simple sense. Yes, it means speech, but it also means reason, logic, and even the deep underlying principle or law that gives the whole universe its structure. It's kind of like the bridge that connects a thinking mind to an ordered cosmos. And what's really cool is how this idea of the logos wasn't static. It has this incredible history. It evolved over centuries. You can see here it starts way back with Heraclitus as this hidden cosmic law. Then Aristotle brings it down to earth. It becomes the spark of reason inside of us humans. Then the Stoics and Neoplatonists, they blow it up again into a universal intellect that's woven into the very fabric of nature. So yeah, the exact definition shifted around, but that core idea, that there's a deep, rational, ordering principle out there, that never went away. Okay, now, here is where the story takes a truly wild turn. I want you to buckle up because we're going to fast forward about 2,000 years. We're leaving ancient philosophy behind and jumping right into modern science.
And the crazy part is, as scientists have dug deeper and deeper into the ultimate nature of reality, they've started using language that sounds, well, shockingly familiar. Get this, the brilliant physicist John Archibald Wheeler summed up a revolutionary idea in just 3 simple words: it from bit. It sounds so simple, but it's unbelievably profound. What he was proposing is that the physical world, all the stuff, the it, doesn't come from other stuff. It actually arises from something totally non-physical: information, the bit. I mean, if that's not a modern echo of "in the beginning was the word," I don't know what is. So let's break that down. The idea is that if you could zoom in to the most fundamental level of reality, you wouldn't find tiny little billiard balls of matter. You'd find information, yes or no answers, bits. Every single particle, every force, every law of physics we know is just the result of some underlying cosmic code being processed. In this way of looking at things, the universe is basically a giant quantum computer executing a program. And once you start looking for this idea, you see this kind of language everywhere in science. I mean, in biology, what do we call DNA? We call it the text of life, right? It's written in a 4-letter alphabet that spells out genes and proteins. And then you jump over to theoretical physics, and string theory suggests that fundamental particles aren't little points, they're tiny vibrating strings, and the different vibrations are like different notes in a vast cosmic symphony. So you've got text, you've got music, you've got code. It really does feel like the universe is trying to speak to us, and it's using a lot of different languages. Heck, even our main scientific origin story, the Big Bang, about 13.8 billion years ago, has echoes of this. Think about it. A single, infinitesimally small point. A singular, explosive event from which all of space, time, matter, and energy emerged. I mean, it's pretty hard not to hear the scientific version of a creative command, right? A cosmic be, or let there be light. So, what does all of this mean for you and me? For us, if the universe really is some kind of text, or a program, or a symphony, what's our part in it all? This is where everything we've talked about, religion, philosophy, science, it all comes together in a really powerful way. But here's a really important distinction we have to make. The divine word, or the cosmic program, is ontological. It creates reality. It writes it into existence. Our human word, on the other hand, is symbolic. It can only interpret and describe the reality that's already there. You could think of it like this. One is the source code that is the program. The other is the language we use to try and read that source code. So let's just step back and look at the big picture here. You've got religion asking about the ultimate source, using the language of a creative word. You've got philosophy asking about rational order, using the language of the logos. You've got science asking about the fundamental rules, talking about information and code. And even linguists, asking how we create meaning with symbols. They're all using different toolkits and asking slightly different questions. But man, when you lay it out like this, you really have to wonder, don't you? Are these 4 totally separate roads, or are they just different trails all heading up the same mountain? You know, realizing this, it comes with a pretty heavy responsibility. A massive one, actually. Because here's the thing. We're not just learning how to read the code of the cosmos anymore. With technologies like CRISPR, we are actively learning how to edit it. We're editing the code of life itself. And that forces a monumental choice on us. Are we going to act with the humility of a careful steward, or with the arrogance, the hubris of a master? And I guess that's the final mind-bending question we're left with. For pretty much all of human history, our role has been to be the readers, the interpreters of this grand cosmic text. But now our role is clearly changing. So are we still just readers of the book of the universe, or are we actually becoming its co-authors? The answer we choose for that question is probably going to define the entire future of humanity.